11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Tales of Unease number 6, production number 1238, take 1.
He didn't really want me to come here at all. I don't think it would suit him, a big place like this. He's been used to working for his dad, you see.
One of the garden shed boys, eh? A few old paintings, 6 of nails, and we're all set to decorate the town hall.
I didn't say anything like that. He's super, actually.
Oh, like that, is it?
Like what?
I'm just thinking about him. Gets you all hot, eh, round the back of your neck.
It's this place. It's so sticky today.
It's no different from usual. The controls maintain a constant level of temperature and humidity in the corridors, offices, canteen, the lot. All programmed with compensatory factors to cut in when necessary.
Well, maybe the computer didn't know there was curry on the menu today.
Look, the way things are calculated...
The way things are calculated, it gets all nasty and hot in here and all cold and damp in our office.
And what floor are you on then?
Second, data processing.
Oh, well, I mean, stands to reason. The computers. The whole floor's adjusted for high humidity at reduced temperature.
Well, our Mr. Harker says...
You work for Mr. Harker?
I'm one of his staff, yes.
I get it, you're an audio typist.
I'm no such thing. Well, I'm on collation at the moment.
Collation, yeah, you mean typing up lists.
Well, what do you do?
Technical branch, Mr. Flint's section. They call us the troubleshooters.
Oh, that. Maintenance. And what sort of special cog does that make you?
You aren't really with it, are you? You don't have cogs nowadays. It's all done with microcircuits and negators and integrators.
Well, whoever interrogated this lot got it wrong, anyway.
Computers function perfectly if fed the right information.
Well, you work down there. Why don't you and your Mr. What's-it do a bit of feeding? You know, cool down the canteen and fix our floor.
Not my job to program this building. Do you know, there used to be 9 different buildings. All the to-ing and fro-ing, pathetic. But look at now. Entrance doors, power-assisted, lifts pre-selected, canteen requirements exact every morning, and a garage, split-second timing, in and out. Took some putting together this building. They really knew how to work in them days.
Like our Mrs. Leggett. 90 if she's a day. And the way she talks, you'd swear she laid the foundations down with her own hands. But it will finish up with some machine running the lot. All those lists we've been typing out, something to do with redundancy. A lot of bits of wire deciding whether you're good enough to go on breathing. And I think they've short-circuited the custard. Anyway, I must be off.
Keep your powder dry.
In that humidity.
Well, that's about it then.
No need for the qualification, that is it.
There'll be some hardship, of course.
Oh, I wouldn't call it hardship. A few emotional upsets.
Some people are bound to feel a bit resentful.
Well, it was not in our brief to include sentimentality as a factor.
Oh, well, no, hardly. No one can say we haven't been fair.
Or accuse the computer of bias.
Yeah. Well, there we are. Marching orders prepared. They're not going to like it, the redundancy regiment.
There's nothing any of them can do about it. Not now.
You know, one day I may not have to do this. When we come in, automatic arms will take our coats. At night, they'll slip them back on again as we leave.
Well,
Funny, it's getting a bit chilly in here.
well, I imagine temperature reduces outside normal working hours.
Well, it's my turn to chauffeur tonight.
I owe you 2.5 days.
2.5?
Yes, there was that morning you drove me in, and then we had to go back by train. The day the garage portcullis jammed.
Oh, that. I don't think that can happen again. Not with this new automatic stud relay they've installed.
There's no need to press twice. One signal is enough. It's stored until answered.
Well, it's not coming, is it?
That's odd.
Well, it's supposed to be floating between these 3 floors at this time of day. It usually is, anyway.
Well, always, after 1700 hours.
Never known it to go on the blink before.
Well, it would appear that we shall have to use the stairs.
Stairs?
Well, that is what they're for, an emergency.
What the hell's going on?
I see it must be a fire drill.
Well, this is a fine time to have a... Oh, I suppose they have to carry out a test every now and then when the staff's gone home.
Very thorough. Excellent idea.
Well, it's the first time I've been caught up in one.
Better ring security.
There must be somebody there. Oh, someone on duty. I mean, fire drill or no fire drill.
It's just the place where someone ought to be stationed.
Well, you don't suppose they go through the whole routine, do you? I mean, turn the sprinklers on, the lot.
Oh, that's highly unlikely just for a test. It caused far too much damage.
Well, I wonder how long we'll have to wait before they open the doors again.
Or restart the lifts.
This is ridiculous. Ah, that sounds a bit more like it.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Archer,
Look, if you knew we were here, why the hell did...
please listen carefully. I have something to say to you.
Well, I've got something to say to you, too. If you imagine we're going to
This is
stay...
a recorded message. You will miss important parts of it if you try to interrupt or talk to each other. Until I tell you, you may do so. I do not propose to tell you my name, nor my official code number in the company records. One of the numbers you have listed as being no longer necessary to the company, in spite of my years of loyal service.
How the hell do you know that?
Being in a position to examine the processing material and the preliminary coded list prepared by the typist for duplication, I know I'm chosen as one of your sacrifices. Unfortunately, I do not choose to offer my throat to the axe, or shall I say, to the negator circuits. The way you presented the statistics was an invitation to the computer to choose women operatives. You loaded them against long-service staff and asked for shallow economies regardless of long-term profitability. Given the facts in proper form, the output would have printed out quite a different recommendation. And to be quite frank, Mr. Archer, Mr. Johnson, it might well have eliminated some parasites on your own level.
You bloody nerve!
Quiet, let's hear the rest of it.
I intend to safeguard my job, and a lot of other jobs. All the men who have given their working lives to the organization, making it what it is today. And if you imagine we can just be thrown out, written off, simply because you've misinterpreted the functions of an automated business?
Oh dear, so emotional.
Now, let me tell you my demands.
Demands? Why, the
The
arrogance...
redundancy list is to be scrapped. Instructions for duplication of preliminary categories are to be cancelled. Mr. Johnson or Mr. Archer, I leave the choice to you, will dictate a new memorandum to the directors. This will say that there has been an unavoidable delay in presentation of the final recommendations because, well, how should we put it? Because certain discrepancies have arisen from inadequate programming. In the meantime, staff dismissals must cease, pending reassessment. This memo is to be dictated now. Now! When it's complete, I'll let you out. Not before.
If he imagines I'm going to have any part in unpicking all that work, he's sadly mistaken.
He can't force us to do any such thing. All we have to do is wait.
Yes, well, how long?
Well, all night if necessary. Sooner or later someone will realize that this entire floor is cut off by tomorrow morning at the very latest.
Well, the security officer. He'll be run long before then. When I get my hands on him, whoever he is, I'm going to wring his bloody neck.
I've allowed you a few moments for consideration. I fancy you employed them in the utterance of meaningless abuse, and I'm sure you feel defiant. Well, I'll now explain why defiance will do you no good.
Look, listen to me. Before you say something you're really going to regret.
Programmed the building control circuits. A rather interesting program, you'll find.
It must be Blake or Woodford. But they aren't even on our list.
In the first place, the corridor is sealed off. No other floor is affected and no alarm signals will show because I've arranged that they don't. The doorman will see nothing unusual on the check panels. The security officer will have no reason to visit this floor until his routine inspection at 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock?
In the second place, I have made certain adjustments to the air conditioning. Do you notice? The balance has been made to give you some rather cold air and very humid. Yes, an hour or two of this could have a very nasty effect on your morale, gentlemen. I think, though, that we can solve our difficulties before then.
It can't be done, you know that as well as I do. Only the cleaners have the keys to the safety locks.
You can't telephone. There's only one message the control deck will accept from this office, and that's a connection to the audio typing spools. You can record the memoranda I've suggested, and that's absolutely all you can do. Oh, and incidentally, don't think you can cheat on the memo. I've coupled the dictation line to one outgoing telephone line as well, and that's connected to my private phone at home. I'm miles away, but I can monitor your dictation. So if you don't say what I want, I shall not replace my receiver. And until I do replace it, the relays won't open up to let you out. I've fixed that. Also, if you try afterwards to press the rewind button on your desk and try to erase the message from the spool, I'll make things very unpleasant for you.
How?
The only erasing that's being done is of this particular tape, the one that's playing to you now. There'll be no record of my voice left in the morning. Nothing that anyone can trace. Now, you ready to start dictating? I'll give you 5 minutes to think about it and get it right. Oh, you'll notice it's getting colder and damper. Do you really want to go on? 5 minutes. And make up your minds while I'm still in a reasonably friendly mood. If you don't,
Oh, is anything working?
Next door the same. And across the corridor. Everything cut off. Dead.
So, we've just got to stick it out.
That's right.
We'll get pneumonia.
That's most unlikely. A good hot bath when we get home.
Yes, and when'll that be?
This ridiculous creature has got us here locked in all right. But he can't do anything to us. He hopes that we'll crack. But as long as we don't, what can he possibly hope to get out of this? There isn't a thing he can do. Not a thing.
Must be raving mad.
All we have to do is wait. They'll let us out eventually. He's wasting his time.
Can you do Morse?
No. And I think it highly unlikely that either a ship's radio operator or a Boy Scout will be strolling in the city at this time of night.
You're wasting your time! You hear? You're wasting your bloody time!
I observe that no message is yet going through to the dictation spools. I really think I shall have to apply more pressure. You see, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to get at least one little bit of personal pleasure out of the whole affair. I'm going to kill you. Do I make myself clear?
He's mad. I tell you, he's mad.
There isn't a thing he can do.
Our chemical synthetics are known the world over, and some not so well known. Rather hush-hush, in fact. Public Relations Division are going to have to work overtime explaining why 2 executives of the company were asphyxiated by a leak of a highly toxic compound into the sprinkler system.
He's bluffing.
Well, suppose he's not.
I don't believe a word of
Well,
it.
suppose he's not.
I refuse to be intimidated.
Well, have you decided?
Listen. Listen to me. I don't believe you're that far away. You can hear us. I'm damn sure you can hear us, so just you listen to me. Before you go too far...
1.5 minutes. That's all you've got left.
Look, if he's capable of going as far as he's gone already...
1.5 minutes. Understood? You really had better start dictating. Once the sprinklers start to operate, I'm afraid there'll be no way of stopping them.
It will do you no good at all. None at all.
I may stay on the list of redundancies, but you... Where will you be? Utterly redundant, I fear. Is that what you want? Well, I think I've used up enough tape by now, so I'll just say goodbye. One way or the other. Goodbye.
To Director Personnel. Stop. Copy to PA. Copy to Mr. Fletcher. Copy Personnel Records. Further to staff redeployment memorandum of 16th of October. It is regretted that there will be a delay in finalization of recommendations. Certain discrepancies have arisen from inadequate programming. It will be necessary to prepare a new analysis before estimates can be firmed. Distribution of lists prepared by Internal Circulation Services should be cancelled. It is requested that machine time be booked and machine cleared for 26th October. End of memo. I have a good mind.
No, tomorrow. Leave it till tomorrow. I'm going straight to the nearest police station.
No, this is company business. Don't worry, this madman won't get away with it.
What about the redundancy report?
That will be rescinded.
Drop on them just like that. You never know what next. I mean, do you? I'll tell you what my fiancé will have to say.
Fiancé?
Well, yes, it was last night. We talked about it, you know. And, well, I thought it would be a smashing idea to announce the engagement on my birthday, my 21st. That's next Thursday fortnight.
Oh. Congratulations. Flinty had to go and have a look. Tried to sort it all out.
Oh, how rotten for him. What was it, them, like?
The portcullis went right through. Down through the roof of his car.
Oh, don't.
Chance in a million, Flinty says. No traceable fault.
Well, that'll teach people to work late anyway. They were always at it. Nasty little creepers.
You know, Flinty's been over every circuit, every relay, checked and rechecked, says he can't find a thing.
Well, now we've got to wait for the directors to put someone else in charge, and they'll have to reprogram. And I don't suppose it'll come out at all the same in the end.
Don't suppose it will.
You know, those two must have been dead beat. Tired. But
Mr. Flint! No joy? It's a right weird one, isn't it? Oh, Maura, I've told you about Mr. Flint.
how do you do, Mr. Flint?
I was
We were
just...
It must have been awful, having to go and, well, try to find out. Well, you know. We were just saying.
Those two...
They must have been so tired they hadn't a clue what they were doing. I bet they rattled off that memo without really understanding a word of it. You know, given another couple of days, they might have changed their minds again, gone right back to where they started.
Yes, they might. Yes, that thought had occurred to me.